everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Leanna and today is a What Would You Do Monday. This is a series of short videos that I'm doing every Monday in the month of May, talking about certain reseller situations and what I do in those situations, in hopes that it starts conversation down below in the comments about what you would do in these situations. So today we're going to talk about thrift store etiquette, because there are definitely some wrongs to do and there are some rights that will make your shopping experience that much better. Okay, so let's get started. I thought of this because of the experience on Friday going to the 50% off sale. It was super busy and I had actually a good experience. Most people were polite and, say excuse me and pardon me and I'm sorry. So it was a good experience, but it was really, really crowded and it did have that potential to come up with some problems. So number one tip or etiquette thing I want to talk about is giving each other space. I am somebody who doesn't like crowds at all. I get really, really anxious in crowds. So going into this situation, I like to sort of have my bubble, and I don't like it when people get in that bubble. So don't reach over me to grab into the rack, that kind of thing. I don't think you should be doing that anyway. One of the things I do to help me get that space is I have my cart and I'm pushing it down the rack. So I start at this end of the rack and my cart is facing the direction I'm going. Because it's in front of the rack, it gives me some space, to move along about 2 or 3 feet type of thing. And people, for the most part, respect that space. It's really good. I've only had one time in my whole entire career where I was doing this down a rack. This wasn't even a sale day. And I was pushing my cart down the rack and I was taking my time and I was looking at stuff and doing whatever. This person was behind me. She was getting a little bit too close, but okay. Went around me, went to the other side of the rack, reached under and grabbed something from the rack in front of me. And I was like, whoa, that's a little bit too much for me. You know what? There's enough stuff in there for sure for all of us. And I mean, I know that some people probably got even better deals than I did. Some people got less, but you know what? There's enough stuff in these stores for everyone. You don't have to barge into somebody's sort of space in order to grab things. So give yourself space. And if somebody is in your space, you have choices. You could sort of go slower so that they get fed up and go away. And I have done that in the past. Or if they're getting really, really aggressive, you know what? I leave the row. I'm just like, yeah, you can have it, whatever. And I leave and I go to a less populated area. It works for me. I don't know what you guys would do in that situation. Let me know. The next one I want to talk about are hangers. If you're shopping clothing, you're doing this down the racks, right? When I pick a piece of clothing up and I want to keep it, I take it off of the hanger, put my item in the cart, and I put the hanger in the cart as well. I separate them, but I take the hanger and the hangers off so that when I go up to the cashier, I have a whole handful of hangers, which I give to her then or him then, and then I put my stuff onto the counter. This helps in a lot of ways. I mean, first of all, it helps save time at the cash because the cashier doesn't have to do it all. And that helps the people behind me because they're not waiting nearly as long. It helps the cashier because they're not doing all of that extra work. And of course it helps me because that means I'm really looking at my item. And number two, I'm saving time at the cash. Now, this is all great, but if you have a thrift store near you that specifically asks you to leave it on the rack, then that's what you do. Whatever the thrift store wants is what you give them. That is my motto. I personally don't like when people leave the empty hangers on the rack. They get in the way when I am doing this. Then all of a sudden you hit an empty one and it goes flying or it gets tangled in something. And you know what? I fix things. Like if the racks are all tangled, like bathing suits, bras, things that are really strappy, those hangers get sort of intermingled with each other. I try and straighten it out as best I can for the next person to look. Because it's just annoying if you have a whole bunch of things like this, and you have like 5 things going this way. So, another thing with hangers, if you happen to drop something off of a hanger, pick it up. I don't understand I mean, yeah, you might not notice that you've done it, and that's fine, and something's on the floor. I don't always pick that up, not always, but most of the time. But if I know that I have dropped something, I pick it up, and I put it back on the hanger if I don't want it. That's what I do, because why are we adding to the burden of the employees or anybody else in that store when we can help fix it? The last thing I want to talk about with thrift store etiquette is be nice. Be nice to the other shoppers. Be nice to the employees. It costs you nothing to be respectful, to be thankful, to be just nice about things. I don't understand anybody that is aggressive and mean about it. You can be proactive and you can be like, go get them, but be nice about it. Say excuse me, say pardon me, say, hey, can I just scooch me around, and all those kinds of things. And with employees, you know what? Building a relationship with your thrift store is a really good business practice. Knowing that, you know what, they welcome you into their stores. Maybe you get to a point where they're like, oh, you know what, here's a sale coming up, you know, just so you know, so you're aware. And treating them nicely is just the right thing to do. No matter what the benefits are, if something's not priced, maybe because you've been so kind to them, they give you a better deal. But that's not why I do it. I just do it because, you know what, they work hard, and I want to make sure that they're okay. That's it. I always tell them to have a great day. You know, I hope everything goes well today for you, especially in a big sale day. But that's what I do. So those are sort of 3 tips, or 3 sort of things I do in the thrift store. Let me know down below in the comments what you do. And that's it. I will see you later this week. I hope everybody has a fantastic Monday. Bye.